Welcome to Masterclass, Wrestling with Class. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Produced by Victoire.
Students, welcome back to another episode of Masterclass. I am one of your co-stars, 1/3 of Delirium, the Master Emir, joined today by my now recurring co-star here on the Masterclass. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the original Sinn Bodhi.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing very, very well, Sinn. And about you, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me reoccur.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you're so perfect for the show, man. And you're such a hit. You're a smash hit with our viewers.
Oh, go on.
Well, I tell you what, Sinn, we do. And I tell you what, I do hope that many of you take the words that you hear today to heart, because we're here to teach you something, all right? So open up your minds and get ready to learn something new. But before we begin any of that, Sinn, I just want to tell everybody, you got to smash that subscribe button. I'm not going to have to keep repeating myself. Smash that subscribe button, hit the likes, share it with your friends and family. That YouTube algorithm, it ain't doing us any favors. So we need you to help us get out there further. And also, while you're at it, if you're feeling in a generous giving spirit, you know those super stickers and those super chats? YouTube created those so you could donate to our channel, so we can help grow the channel and bring on more guests and do other sort of things out there. So again, just a tidbit, something to think about. So Sinn, we got some topics to cover today. You contacted me over the weekend about one particular topic, and I agreed with you 100%. So let's kick it off. What is all this BS about people body shaming Triple H? Take it away, Sinn.
So, first of all, to be honest, I mean, like, this, I don't know where to start. Like, so to be honest, like, he looks better at 56 or whatever than most fucking young people today look at 25. Like yeah. Sometimes I don't want to sound like a dick, but I'm gonna, but like, I'm not fat shaming or ugly shaming or whatever shaming anybody, but like, you can't help but what's in front of you. Like I sometimes I eat like a fucking pig, and I am still, my waistline is fine. I don't look like I melted in the sun or whatever. Like, I just look at some people and go, what? How do you do that to yourself? Like, you have to go out of your, like, I eat like a glutton.
Yeah.
And I'm in shape.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to, like, you know, have your ankles thicker than my waist? Like, I see some people out whatever, and all these people are, how dare they look at somebody who is in shape? He's been in shape his entire life. He's still in shape. Mm-hmm. After heart surgery, he's still in better shape than you know, most earthlings. Mm-hmm. And these nerds, these fucking skinny fat nerds online are and I like to use the comic guy from The Simpsons voice when I hear these people and I see their type. It always is like, Triple H let himself go. What's wrong with him? You know, Chopper, Wonder Woman, or Aquaman, possibly Ghost Rider. You know, like the hell? What are you thinking, dummies? For real? Like, I that's as diplomatic as I can be about it. Like, and also, how creepy, voyeuristically paparazzi-ish is it to take pictures of a dude and his family on the beach? Like, he's not flexing, he's not sucking anything in. No. He's just chilling out with his wife and his kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you have nothing better to do than take photos of this dude and his families from the freaking bushes. Like, that already to me is creepy.
Yeah.
You know, like, just paparazzi in general is super creepy. Like, if you want to interview somebody or you want to say, hey, can we get a candid interview?
Fans, the time has come for you to flex your appreciation in style. The Masters of Wrestling delivers the most truthful pro wrestling content week in, week out. And now we want you to show your support wherever you go. Power and Glory, the podcast t-shirts. Order yours now. Stylin', the podcast t-shirts. Order yours now. To order your t-shirt and for shipping information, use the email address in the description of this video. the Masters of Wrestling. Order your t-shirts now.
Be like, if you want to interview somebody, or you want to say, hey, can we get a candid interview, or can we do this? But just to voyeuristically just stalk people. I just never understood that. Like, no matter how tired, hangry, whatever I am, I would always stop happily. If a fan asked me to take a photo or sign something, no problem.
Right.
I never will shun a fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's just somebody's like videoing me from the bushes, that's a whole other deal. Like, why don't you hop out of the bushes and have a conversation with me? Otherwise, like, get the hell out of here. It just is icky to me.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize, like, wrestlers, actors, rock stars, athletes, whatever. Of course, people are in the limelight to whatever varying degrees, but at the same time, like, we're not cartoons, we're not toys to be played with and shelved when we don't want to be played with. Like, we're humans. Mm-hmm. So of course, with any celebrity, from the highest end to the curtain jerk celebrity, to the mid card celebrity, to the top guy, girl celebrity, we have to realize, you are to some degree a human product, and people think they know you more than they do because they've seen you wrestle or sing or play basketball or play hockey or whatever it is. At the same time, like, as just a grown ass, halfway awake, informed human, you have to realize, like, when's a good time, when's a bad time.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy of mine, and he used to laugh. He is a video jockey up in Canada, like, to sort of on. He was on Much Music, which is like Canada's MTV kind of a thing, and YTV and stuff like that. He would always be like, dude, like, somebody tried to take a photo with me while I was pooping in a stall. Like, I'm no semblance of privacy or whatever, and just stuff like that. Yeah. And so again, I'm protective of my family. Like, if you roll up on me in an airport or something, no problem. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to be like, if you want to sign it, if you want me to sign it so you can eBay it, make double bucks. I'm not that, like, you're going to try to make a couple of dollars off my name. I'm not going to do it. Like, you want to think like that? Be my guest. I know a lot of wrestlers do think like that. I don't think like that.
Right.
Like, what is it going to put a dent in your millions? Like,
yeah.
No, but they're allowed to think like that. But I don't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, but there is also, like, just a privacy, just a polite thing, And I don't know if I told you this before. I've told some people, so stop me if I talked about this on your podcast. But, like, I remember sitting, like, at an airport one day. It was during a SmackDown loop, and I was with a few other guys from SmackDown, and we were tired, and we've been on, planes, trains, and automobiles, and we were just run ragged. And this dude came up holding like his little boy, like, kind of under his arm, wanting to take a photo. And out of respect for, because all the guys were nice, are nice, but the one dude especially was just tired, grumpy, hangry, whatever. We just got our food, and this guy comes over politely, excuse me, guys, and he's literally shaking, with his kid in front of him. He's just like, I don't mean to bother you guys, but would you mind taking a photo or signing something or whatever he asked for my kid? Mm. And this big dude, and this is a big dude, like, this guy was a big dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to stooge off who he was, because I'm going to make him sound like an asshole. And he was that day, but he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He just looks at this guy and goes, fuck off. We're eating.
Wow.
I put my fork down, and I was just as hungry and just as tired as he was. I put my fork down and go, apologize to that dude. Mm-hmm. Take a photo, or you and I are going to go outside.
Yeah, right.
And I helped this guy quite a bit, whatever. And he took a breath. He was like, you're right, dude. I apologize. He looked at the guy. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm just tired and hungry. I apologize, of course. And we all four of us got up and took a photo and signed something for the guy and the kid. Yeah. I thought, like, just respecting people in general, whether you're the celebrity or you're the stranger or the fan or whatever. Like, without the fans, we are nothing.
Right.
So
exactly.
Not only is it good business, but it's just good humanity. To be cool.
Yeah.
And when people are like all the way going back to, so before I'll finish that story. So like, what if we just let that guy buzz off? What if we told him the fuck off? And that kid, what if that kid sort of on an instinctual level just saw my old man's a pussy? Like, and I have respect for my old man anymore. We may have inadvertently put a dent in that kid's way of thinking and that kid's relationship with his dad. Like, we wield a sort of a certain superpower. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember kind of trying to diffuse it. Like, after me and my buddy we were good right away. Like, he was like, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I tried to diffuse and say, like, oh, you're lucky. You're a lucky kid. You got a big scary dad there. Like, he's, whatever, to make sure you come up to a bunch of crazy wrestlers, whatever. What a great dad. What a tough dad you have. And So the
Yeah.
kid kind of like, you see the wheels turn, like, oh, maybe he is, like
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
defuse any thoughts of his dad being a scaredy cat or something, because like, why would we want to plant those seeds? Never
Yeah.
know that kid again. I couldn't recognize that kid right now. If you put him in a lineup with a bunch of other kids, I couldn't pick him out.
Yeah.
But I thought I remember the story, like the essence of the story,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we might not remember all of their faces, but they'll remember ours. Were we
And
nice or were we shitty?
And
You know?
and kids are susceptible to that sin, and I bring it up often. I talk about it with Rico, talk about it with Paul, and even with the guys when we're working on the circuits. What we say to those kids makes a big difference. Like you said, it's almost like a superpower. They take you somewhat different than they do their parents, their teachers, their peers, and yeah, and any wrestlers out there. And I'm not going to name names either, but there's some out there, even in the big leagues now, and they're total assholes to people in public, and they should be disgusted with themselves because they are, like you said, Sin, that what that kid carries away in
Yep.
15, 20 years could shape his whole future.
We
For
might
the
not
worse.
remember him the next day, but he will remember us for the next 50 years.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's our job. It's that cliche. It's the Stan Lee deal. Like with great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
what celebrities are trying to sway. They could kind of say out loud their opinions. I'm not going to say it should be illegal for celebrities to share their opinions,
Mhm.
but I think when they're pushing agendas,
Yeah.
I think, and on both sides of something political or something religious or something sexual or something, anything that's got some kind of weight to it, some kind
Mhm.
of importance to it.
Yeah.
But I think to shame anybody for being red or blue or gay or straight or black or white or this or that or
Mhm.
a man or a woman or whatever. Like I'm like, you can't use your celebrity for something a little bit more positive. Like you
Yeah.
can't tell everybody be kind to each other. Like, dude, I,
Exactly.
I could I could I could sum up religion and politics in a Bill and Ted quote. Just be excellent to one another.
There you go. Yeah.
Fucking done.
Yeah. Be
How can
excellent.
atheist, agnostic, Buddhist, Muslim, Christian, whatever you are, and I know you're a man of faith,
Mhm.
whatever you are, how can you go wrong with be excellent to one another?
Exactly. You got to be
Red or
excellent. Yeah.
blue, whatever, polka dot stripe, whatever you are, how can you go wrong with be excellent to one
Exactly. And that comes back into again about people talking about, Triple H. This is a man who has given his entire life to pro wrestling.
another?
No matter hate him or love him, you just look back at the track record. This guy's a professional from the moment he broke in. Yeah. I see you want to
He's a
say something?
workhorse, and
Yeah.
he is like the new dad of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Like for him to have a vacation after heart surgery and all that kind of stuff with his wife and his kids, like let the guy have a full blown beer gut if he wants, which he doesn't.
No.
I promise you, if in that exact day, that moment, whatever he was, enjoying some carbs or whatever, if he had just stood up and looked at the camera and flexed,
Yeah.
he would have looked closer to the Triple H we know than the Triple H that got photos taken of him when he wasn't looking. He's breathing out. Like as a wrestler, I've had photos taken of me where I was breathing out. I was just like, fuck, I look like a fucking bag of milk. Like what did I do? And it was just
Yeah.
a bad photo or whatever.
Yep.
So like
Yep.
he's not looking at the like, have you noticed there's none of those pictures, he's not posing for anything. He's
No.
in the middle of having a conversation with his wife, or he's looking around or whatever. He's not looking at whoever's snapping those creepy pictures.
No.
you
Plus,
know
plus, Cindy's running a company. I mean, this is like something else people are not taking into,
sure.
he's like running a company. He's probably not getting much sleep. He's on the road. He's traveling around. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of mental pressure on him right now.
Sure.
So to
And
even,
I'm sure he travels in luxury. I'm sure he eats the best food.
Mhm.
He works out. He
Yep.
stays in shape.
Yep.
You know, you know, maybe not like he did in the Attitude Era because he was 25 fucking years younger in the Attitude Era. Like, what do people expect? Like, oh, look, he got great hair.
Yeah.
Like heaven for freaking fit.
I know. It's like,
know?
I think some people think that time stands still, Sin. They think that this is still 1999. It's like that's 26 years ago. Like you said.
Sure. Again, just like the fans or whoever it is, fan or otherwise, like for you to just judge like you don't know how time works.
Right.
You don't know how the circle of what life works. Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? And again, if he just stood up and flexed into that camera, I'm sure he would have looked just fine.
Yeah.
Even with him, breathing out and bending over in an unflattering pose, whatever, he still looks fine. I don't know what anybody's squawking about. And I
I
mean, I saw one dumb, and this was the dumbest comment. I
yeah.
saw somebody like, he couldn't buy a new pair of shorts, and they show a picture of him like 20 years ago in the same
Oh
pair of
my
shorts. I'm like,
gosh.
I've got t-shirts older than some fucking wrestlers. So he's got a pair of shorts he liked, and I'm sure he hasn't worn them every time he's gone swimming for the last 25 years. I'm sure it was just he wore them one time and there was a photo, and then he wore them another time and there was a photo.
Yeah.
So like, what are you idiots?
Yeah. It's so you can say it over and over again. If you don't have something good to say, don't say it at all. But people are going to keep talking. Heck, they do it to us, Sin. Sometimes we get the odd troll comment on this channel. I don't put up with it myself. Sometimes I read them and giggle. I just delete them because I just think it's just trash. I don't need it. You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't put over shitty comments because it's just like, it's the old school of like the way to the old school, the sort of the stiff way of kayfabing.
Yeah.
You just ignore them.
Yep.
Because if you give them any play, you instantly give them credibility, and you instantly give them their 15 minutes and all that kind of stuff. Or you just leave them in the anonymity that their waller that they, want. Like, I don't know if somebody's want to be a troll. I can see a shitty comment, I can giggle it off and then block the person or just move on. Never see that person again. They have to live with themselves. I don't have to ever deal with them ever again.
Exactly.
So like if I was to go, hey, smartmark65 at hotmail.com, you're a scarf, blah, blah, blah.
Right,
so
right.
thanks, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to say, I'm just going to give them fuel to go, oh, look, Kizarni talked to me and said, and then I went toe to toe with Kizarni, like, I'm like, what? That's not going to accomplish anything.
Right. Yeah.
It's just all silly. Like, why would you, I don't punch now. If I'm ever going to pick a fight, I'm punching up.
Right.
Yeah.
Again,
I think I told you the silly, like the thing that me and Hulk Hogan had, like, and we solved it, but like, I'm pretty sure I'm punching up when it comes to like somebody like a Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think I'm a half decently nice person. I'm not Mother Teresa or anything. But out of the couple people that I ever got into it with, I was punching up.
Yeah. How tall are you, Sin?
I'm 6'1", and right now I'm runtier than I've ever been since like about the 90s. I don't like it. I'm in ring shape. I can go. I don't blow up or nothing. But I think I'm at a measly, like a legitimate measly, like 230, 231.
Okay.
Stuff like that. But I usually sit at about 245.
Yeah.
I like that better. Like my arms are leaner. Like I don't like my weight is like off my arms and my shoulders quite a bit, which I don't like.
Yeah. So was that purposeful, or was that again because you got a busy schedule? So
just busy and so a couple of years ago, my wife and I moved out of Vegas about an hour and a half out of town to the edge of Death Valley, where we have a little sort of like an unofficial rescue ranch.
Yep.
So if you don't mind, shamelessly, like my wife was sharing like this donation link for like, I want nothing for my birthday except for, my wife put this thing, I thought it was clever, and I'm like, okay. She just put, you want to do something nice for Sin? If you like his coaching, if you watched his Snake Pit, or if he's been on a seminar with him, or been in a match or a class or something, he just wants you to donate something to his animals.
Okay.
So it's like I don't want anything, but yeah, somebody thought I was useful or entertaining somewhere or whatever along the line, then yeah, please throw a donation in there. And like you can order literally, like you could just go online. Like my wife has like a registry of like, you can buy cat food, you can buy goat food, you can buy chicken treats or cow treats or stuff like that. You know, so like I don't ever want anything, but I'll certainly be shameless to say like, yeah, somebody wants to help out, do something nice for my critters.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I would turn a pretty darn good profit wrestling and doing all the silly stuff that I do if it wasn't for having the critters. I spend so much on, like I spend over $3,000 easy just on animal food a month.
Wow.
$3,000 USD.
Wow.
That's like $8 million Canadian.
Yeah. That's a lot of.
So if I wasn't spending that money, I could certainly save me some. Like I work hard, I hustle, I make money, but it just get literally but metaphorically and figuratively, it gets ate up by my critters. And the only downside, if I was to save that money, I wouldn't have any of those critters. So easy trade for me.
Well, we love animals. I love animals. So Sin, now I've got your Instagram handle underneath your name on this episode of the podcast here. So if they go on that, can they find a link to that donation source?
Yeah, my wife should have that. If you go like on my Facebook, that's usually where I share more of that kind of stuff. And all of my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram, it's all the same. It's all Sinn Bodhi, SINNBODHI.
Okay.
So there you go.
So there you go, people.
I'll make sure I'll refresh it to my Instagram as well. But yeah, thank you.
Okay, absolutely. Again, money does make the world go round, and it does, and what Sin is doing is an admirable cause. I know about animal sanctuaries and rescues and things like that, and there are so many animals out there that are in need, and they do bring a lot of joy. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of joy.
Well, like they say, like, and I believe this, like, when you go rescue a dog or something from like a kill shelter or whatever,
Mm.
you're not rescuing that dog. They are rescuing you.
Yeah, yeah,
So like yesterday, like I had to get up early to go to a cauliflower rally, and then so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna sleep in a little bit because I got home really late from the night before doing the on the fly show at cauliflower rally,
yeah.
and so it's like 6 in the morning, and my neighbor calls me and is just like, hey, there's a scared lost turkey out here, and I live out in the sticks.
Yeah.
So and I helped them. As soon as I went up, this little thing that ran right into my arms, like she was scared shitless,
Yeah.
and I just like we fell in love.
Yeah.
This little turkey was awesome.
Yeah.
So like I brought her home and told my wife, I'm like, okay, we got to see like where she comes from. We got to try to, get her back to her home.
Yeah.
My neighbor kind of thought, I know, my dog is barking at it and stuff like that. Mailman, kill the mailman. And so, he kind of figured that she had got chased by like a coyote or something. She was exhausted and tired and hungry and thirsty. So we got about a month or so ago. We rescued we rescued a guinea hen, which I thought it was like I didn't know what a guinea hen was. It was like I thought it was like a girl peacock or something, like a peahen. But
Okay.
it wasn't. It was called a guinea hen, which looks kind of like a weird little dinosaur chicken. Like they're
Really?
interesting.
Okay.
They look neat. And but she had her neck stuck in a fence across the street, so we rescued her, and we couldn't find where she was, so I built her like a nice little uh, like a chicken run for her, and
Yeah.
I got an acre, so I got some room, so I built her like a nice big thing. I thought we can't have her by herself because she's too big to be with the chickens, and she was too little to be with the turkeys. So we're like, okay, so we went out and got her a little soulmate. So we got her a little boyfriend,
Yeah.
little boyfriend, little dude.
Yeah.
And then so yesterday, yeah, we got this little turkey, and like she ran right into my lap and stuff, and
That's pretty cool, man.
so like so I was exhausted because I was like up doing stuff, and then like I went from uh, turkey rescue and getting her all sorted and settled, and then I zipped over to Cauliflower Alley for a bit, and then I had to go to UFC for some of the power slap
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then I went to taught wrestling class, in Vegas,
Gosh.
and then I got home at like I don't know, like midnight or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I think I sat down in my bed with my remote in my hand, just looking forward to curling up with my dogs and watching some Ancient Aliens because I'm a big mark for that stuff.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I literally fell asleep. I laid down, looked at the TV, and fell asleep with the remote in my hands. Like that's how.
Yeah.
That's not usually like the way it is for me. But
Speaking of that, Sin, so you're out there in the desert. You got clear open skies. You ever seen anything out there? Something that you cannot explain?
I would love to say that I have, but I've seen things that are like I wasn't sure what it was, but
Mhm.
I'm smart enough. I don't know much, and I think there's a lot of things in this world and underneath the sea and in outer space that we have no idea about, no concept about.
Yeah.
I think it's just for the time being, things are above our pay grade, and we don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised at anything. Like if aliens landed tomorrow, I'd be like, called it. you know.
I tell you what was remarkable to me was I watched that show years ago. Was when they found the hieroglyphs
All
in
that stuff
Egypt.
fascinates me.
Yes, with the airplane, like the helicopter on it and stuff like that. I was like, and then the little men that look like astronauts in the past. I'm like, okay, was it time travel or what? I mean, it's interesting theories that could
Well,
go
when
with
there's
this.
pyramids, in Egypt, Japan, South America, whatever, and
Yeah,
they all line up mathematically to the millimeter,
yeah,
that can't be
yeah,
coincidence. And those things are supposed to be thousands and thousands of years old. So figure that out.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
there's all these megaliths and like those big what do you call them? The big like the tower, like the
Stonehenge, the
obelisks and stuff like
obelisks and
that.
all that. Yep, yep.
And like we don't have the strongest cranes in the world to this day can't move
Right, right.
bricks blocks of that size. So I'm like, well, so you tell me a bunch of savages tied it up with twine and rolled it on some fucking logs for 100 miles when we don't have heavy machinery that could do that to this day. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking aliens is not a
It,
unrealistic
yeah. It's interesting
place.
when you hear there's a famous Egyptologist. I forget what his name is, but you see him everywhere. He was on Pierce Morgan, and he's so adamant that the pyramids were built a certain way. He said, "No, these are how the pyramids were built," and he's just.
Sure.
I'm like, yeah, sure, some skinny slaves in 120-degree temperature,
Yeah,
all in these huge rocks. No, I
yeah.
don't think so. Somehow.
And too,
E-
there's construction on every road in every major city, and we have big giant bulldozers and dump trucks and all this stuff to get that stuff done. And you're
Yeah,
telling me they built these pyramids over, like, or these big giant, cathedrals or all these different things,
yeah,
whatever. Or Stonehenge. It took them 20 years, whatever.
right. 20.
I've had construction in Vegas on Vegas highways for 20 years.
Yeah,
Like nothing's getting done. So like, and you're
exactly.
telling me, yeah, like a bunch of skinny little dudes in the
Yeah,
desert with no shoes,
right.
some little cotton loincloths. That's all they're rolling these bricks up hills and twigs. Like, give
Yeah,
me a freaking break.
yeah. Something's being hidden from us there
And,
for
and
sure.
when I hear people go, "Oh, aliens, that's the most ridiculous thing," I mean, why is that ridiculous? Like, out of all the infinite space and infinite amount of planets, so if however you want to go, whether it's the Almighty Creator or however you want to call whatever that ultimate power is, that ultimate power that did create all this stuff, out of all this infinite space and infinite planets, and if we as Earthlings and Earth is the only planet with life, then no disrespect. I'm saying this kind of tongue in cheek, but no disrespect. But that ultimate power is the ultimate underachiever of all time. Like humans, that's the greatest thing he could come up with for this all omnipotous, wonderful creature. This is all basically like we're like the Detroit of the galaxy. We're like the fucking ghetto of the of the galaxy.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think aliens come here because they're like, why, honey, Mrs. Alien says to Mr. Alien, like, oh, could you pull over on that planet? I got to pee. No, honey, that's bad part of the universe. Well, let's catch the next planet over. Like, you don't want to stop there unless we have a flat tire or something.
I mean, honestly, it's like people don't stop and think, Sin. It's like we take everything for granted. But the sun, just the sun rising in the morning and setting then in the west, and the clouds and the rain, it's like
Oh, it's magical.
yeah, it's incredible what we
Figure
have.
that out. We take it for granted. Try to zoom out with your brain. Just figure out, what does all that entail?
Yeah,
A giant boiling ball of fire 20 times or 100 times bigger than this Earth, which is not so small,
no,
is perfectly magnetically orbiting with these planets orbiting around. It just happened to be so perfectly, like,
yeah,
I mean, if we were a couple degrees warmer, a couple degrees colder, a couple degrees further,
yeah,
we'd freeze or burn, or we just float off the planet or whatever. So all these things are scientifically or magically or cosmically or divinely aligned in some way.
yeah, yeah.
However you want to cut it, pretty darn impressive.
Very impressive indeed. It kind of now we got to go back into our benign subject matter.
Where does Triple H in his swimming trunks fall into all this? That's what I want to know.
Exactly. Triple H's swimming trunks. We come way back down to earth now, the bottom of the barrel here. But aside from Triple H, I wanted to bring up Chris Jericho because now he's starting to make the headlines now because the contract with AEW is coming up.
Yeah.
And the rumors are he's going to go back to WWE. Now, obviously, Chris, you can't divulge any information that you know or may not know, but do you think perhaps that we'll see him back in WWE?
I don't think it's not undoable. He's
Okay.
a great worker. He's got a great mind. I mean, he's a go-getter. He's got initiative.
Yeah.
He once called me what I'm about to call him.
No.
He's a hustler.
Okay.
He is and I mean that in the sense of hardworking guy, full of initiative,
Yeah.
full of what can we do next?
Yeah.
How can I I'm here? How can I get myself to here? Oh, I'm here. How can I get myself to here? So
Yeah.
he's just a guy with a bucket load of drive and creativity, and he's I'm sure he could retire tomorrow if he felt like it. I'm sure he doesn't have to kiss ass to anybody.
Right.
He's built, whatever, 30, 40 years of equity in pro wrestling,
Mhm.
he's in his early 50s.
Yeah.
He's been doing this since he was in his 20s,
Yep.
So I mean, he's one of those conduits to time, to an era gone, I think, like, that's why, like, when I travel and I sort of player coach or whatever, like, I think those guys in that unicorn age were like, I'm old enough where I wrestled a lot of the wrestling gods,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm young enough where I can still get down with the new guys,
Yeah.
And so like if these new guys are watching the wrestling gods on YouTube or Peacock or whatever it is, they can see it and their eyes perceive, they can hear it and their ears can hear it and perceive. They can't touch it. That
Right.
missing food group is the key.
Yeah.
Because like if what you see is on point, what you hear is on point, the touch is such an anomaly.
Yeah.
So when you lock up with somebody like me, or like obviously like Jericho, who is far more qualified than me, than little old me,
Mm.
But I just mean as far as that age bracket of guys,
Yeah.
you're two of a very small group of people really that are at that age that can still get down.
Mm-hmm.
So we bring that by osmosis when you lock up with us, like a Hurricane or
Yeah.
a Sky Too Hottie or X-Pac.
Yeah.
All these guys like wrestled all these dudes from the past that had all these awesome tricks of the trade, all this work rate, all the devil in the details kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then so when you lock up with guys in that, category, in that unicorn age, you go, oh, that's what this is supposed to be like. That's what this is supposed to feel like. Oh, okay. Because again, you can't, like, if you see it and it looks brutal on YouTube, but if you're doing your magic right, then it should look brutal.
Yeah.
And some stuff that looks easy is really difficult, and some stuff that looks really difficult is easy, and everything in between. And you don't know it until you kind of get that touch.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about that, Sin, because to me, at least, I wouldn't say across the board entirely, but a large contingent, there seems to be a disconnect. It's like, okay, if these guys were watching guys like you, like I was watching guys like you, like Hogan, like Savage, Warrior, Jericho, where's the disconnect? Why and now they walking out there and trying to do things that, again, I'm going to be blunt. A lot of these guys are just doing gymnastics and they're not still in.
I talked about this the other night in class. It breaks down to, and this is going to sound super crotchety, but whatever. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Okay.
So back in the day, you got stretched and you learned the hard way, and you said yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, sir. Nowadays, if you dare give anybody advice out of turn, which I don't give anybody advice unless they ask.
Right.
And when they do, I'll tell them, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But I think like back in the day, if somebody said, hey, you kid, don't do this, blah, 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 you're like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Nowadays, if you say that they get triggered and they get butthurt, oh, that person fat shamed me, that person talent shamed me, that person, but no, they're just trying to help you out. And they're telling you what you need to hear just because you're being a spoiled little sissy, like go to your room.
Right. Right. So then, Sin, what happens then if let's say you get booked in a match and you get one of these upstarts who jumps in the ring with you and you're trying to tell a story and you're trying to convey it and this kid's bouncing around the ring doing flips and blah, blah, and he's not listening to you. Do you, put the pedal to the metal and teach him a lesson? Or, okay.
Oh, yeah. I pull up the newspaper and I spank the puppy for piddling on the kitchen floor.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. They'll certainly see it my way for sure. And it's not, I'm right and they're wrong. It's not that at all. And 9.9% of the time, if I'm like, what do you like to do? And they'll say, oh, I can do this and this is, I'm like, cool, awesome. See you out there.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa. And they don't usually ever pipe up and say, well, I got to memorize this. I've never had anybody say, bow up and say, oh, I have to memorize. That's how we really do it.
Yeah.
They go, oh, okay. And we go out there and we have a really fun, safe match. And then again, 9.9 out of 10 times they come back afterwards. That was so fun. I never did it like that. I didn't know it could be like that. I'm like, yeah. You should try doing that a little bit more. And whether they do or don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to I'm going to certainly communicate with, some younger guy. I'm not going to be, this is what we're doing.
Right.
No, let's go find it together. It's two to tango. This is not me. This is us.
Yep.
But at the same time, I got my reps. Trust me, I will make you look good. I will keep you safe.
Yep.
Keep you one piece so you can live to fight the next day and so forth. And I would appreciate you do the same with me.
Yep.
But I'm slick enough to protect myself no matter what, whether somebody has, I don't think anybody has bad intentions these days, but I think some of them have dumb intentions.
Yeah.
They just ignorant to whether they're going to hurt you or not trying to hurt you, but just as Raven used to say, they're too dumb to know how green they are, or they're too green to know how dumb they are. Same difference, So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But on the odd occasion where I ever had somebody kind of really try to buck around,
Mhm.
Not buck around, like buck around, like buck me like a
Yeah.
horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just grab the reins tighter and just go.
Yeah.
I got my tricks. Like
Yeah.
I could blow you up before you ever even know what happened.
Right.
You'll never know I did it on purpose. Like, oh man, give me a big body slam or whatever. I go up light. Like I have hollow bones. I can post and I can go up light as a jaybird.
Okay.
Or I can go up like a bag of concrete and wind you really quickly. And I
Yeah.
can run you around and I could get you leapfrogging and dropping down and kicking me and this and that, chasing me around. And you'll be winded before you know what hit you. Or as you're picking me up when I'm climbing up and put my hand like up on your tummy to get up, I'm watching your lungs and watching your chest. As you breathe in, I give you a little something to tell you.
Yeah.
So when they suck and wind, they comply.
Yeah, that's good, man. It just baffles my mind though, Sid. It's like they go away, they say it, that was great, that was the best thing I've ever done, and then they forget it, and then they go right back to doing what they were doing before.
Yeah.
And
Well, welcome to planet Earth.
yeah, exactly. But
I think
like,
that transcends wrestling.
yeah. Oh, these days for sure. It's across the board these days. But speaking of, and then switching gears again with Karrion Kross, I wanted to bring up Karrion.
Something Triple H in swim trunks.
Something. Yeah, Triple H's. Let's go back to Triple H's swim trunks first. So, Triple H, he's got a pacemaker too, right?
Yeah.
So,
You can. I don't know if I'm seeing things, but if you look really close at those infamous swimming trunk photos, you can kind of see like this square shape on his chest. And I'm like, is that what I think it is?
yeah.
And power to the dude. I've got nothing but respect for him.
Yeah.
But, every single time not every single time I didn't see him every single time I was there coaching at the PC or at NXT or anything, but like for the bunch of times that I did see him, he was always engaged with everybody he talked to, myself included. Like he didn't just like shake your hand while looking at something else and just fly by night. Like, yeah. Looked you in the eyes, talked to you like a man, talked to you like you were there for a reason.
Yeah.
Got your input, communicated with you, didn't ever look down his nose at you. Like he always talked to you like a human.
Yeah.
And I remember when it was that, like I've seen him, when I was doing dark matches, 100 years ago, and he was, top guy in the locker room, I saw other things. I remember I was putting on this ridiculous pair of, I tore my ACL and I didn't want to let anybody see me wearing a knee brace. So I didn't want to, like, it was still kind of old school where you kind of hit that shit.
Yeah.
So I got the idea of like, I'm going to wear these giant sort of like Red Hot Chili Pepper, like flea, those big giant furry, like stuffed animal kind of pants.
Okay.
Pretty outrageous, especially for that time.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody wears every dumb thing you could think of. But then it was pretty out there. And I remember like I was getting saddled up in the locker room and putting those things on. And I remember I saw him out of the corner of my eye and he kind of looked at my stuff and he looked over at Big Papa Pump, kind of like, what's this kid putting on? Like I can see you.
Yeah.
I see you looking at me, making your funny faces, whatever.
Yeah.
He never was shitty about it, but I saw that. And then I went out there and I like to think if I remember correctly, we had a tag match. I remember, he was very complimentary after the match and stuff. And he giggled, and looked at my pants and got a giggle. He goes, "You moved really well in the ring." I go, "I don't know how you did it in those fucking pants." And he kind of giggled about it. So like he was cool about it. Like he wasn't,
Yeah.
Because like as I saw him giggling, kind of behind my back about it, at the same time, like I'm the brand new guy.
Yeah.
He's this top guy. I'm like, I'll pick my battles. I'm not gonna get bothered about if you don't like my pants, that's no problem.
Right. Exactly.
But then afterwards he was real cool,
Yeah.
And then it's certainly, and that was like just so long ago. But fast forward years later when he's like the dad of wrestling and I was one of the coaches and the producer at I was like a guest producer like guest at the coach at the PC and guest producer for NXT. And it was nothing but awesome.
Yeah.
It was just cool as hell.
Yeah.
And, but again, like he's got so many guys and girls, and like, of course, people are gonna like boo-boo face and say mean shit about him when he doesn't like what they're doing. Like, it's easy to get put over by him, and then you say, "Oh, he's wonderful." But try really zooming out and seeing what you think when you get released or whatever. Oh, he was this, if you're just talking out of your ass because you got released, like maybe look within. Like sometimes it's certainly not your fault.
Right.
Sometimes it's a budget thing, or who knows, whatever. And sometimes but it's also like it's their company; they can do what they want. Like
Well, plus he's like you said, he's a professional. He's a consummate professional. He loves this business through and through, and he
Sure.
wants to see like-minded people in it. It's like, why would you have someone who comes in half-ass or someone who just wants to be famous? That's not going to cut it with someone like Triple
Sure.
H. Thank God he's in that position, and they didn't just erase the entire board and put in people who know nothing about it. Thank God that didn't happen. So
Yeah.
there you go, to say the very least. But he did go odds, or well, that's what we're told. I don't know what to believe about this carrying cross situation, Sin.
I just think like with the with like the R Truth situation, and it turns out to be whatever. I think it was a shoot turned into a work, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Whenever I communicate with the office, I'm not in a rush to mark out over a storyline and be like, if I'm talking to a road dog or somebody, I'm not, I'm talking to them about something positive or looking at like, opportunities or different things or whatever, or I'm just talking to a buddy, like
yeah, yeah,
if we're not sending silly memes or something to each other,
yeah,
then we're talking about, hey, would you like me to do this or would you like that or this or that, whatever, like something proactive and productive.
yeah.
I'm not gonna ever, like, when I'm talking to somebody in the office, I'm never gonna be like, was that a work or was that a shoot with Karrion Kross or
Right, right,
our truth,
right,
our truth,
right.
you haven't really worked, brother. Like, my guess is, for whatever reason, like they could have easily, the R Truth thing could have easily been 100%
Yeah,
a work, could have
yeah,
been, I don't know,
yeah,
but maybe I would just stay a guess and say, like, for whatever reason they thought, all right, let's uh let's let him go for whatever
yeah,
reason, respectfully, and then the fans really kind of let their voice be heard, and then they said, all right, Triple H was like, okay, maybe, and just my opinion is like, well, they're upset that he's gone. Well, how can we spin this, and how can we make some money out of this and
yeah,
draw some interest out of this? And then they did what they did, and it worked out.
yeah. I
And
had,
maybe they out of that with Cross, but I don't know.
I mean, it's like I said, for me, it doesn't matter one way or the other. I know some of the
Way we're
viewers.
talking about it. Either way, people are wondering about
Yeah,
it. So either
yeah,
way, it's working.
yeah. It
So
works. Right,
whatever they're doing, it's working.
right. It
Cross is
works.
always super, like, since day one. Like, I mean, I helped train Karrion Cross
Okay.
and have some of his first matches and stuff.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, he was very aware and concerned about how he was to be booked.
Okay.
He didn't mark out. He wasn't an asshole about it. He was just like, he's very cognizant of protecting his uh, stock.
Well, as he should be. I mean, I
Yeah,
mean, as he should be. I mean,
sure.
that's one of the
That
things.
good soldier thing he's talking about, like, that's a shoot. Like,
Yeah.
we were all taught to be like that. Like Hutchinson 101, when I learned my basics from Ron Hutchinson, be a good fucking soldier. Do what you're told. And then as you get kind of wiser and stuff, you realize, yes, that's certainly part of it. But then sometimes squeaky wheel gets the grease, and you got to
Yeah.
know when to kind
Yeah.
of step out of that pecking order and then kind of stand up for yourself, good, bad, or indifferent.
Well, you
So,
you told me that yourself, right? That was one of the things that Jake had told you, right, back in the day about you. You had some misgivings even in your run with WWE, and you said you would have liked to have spoken up more about that.
yeah,
So yeah, a similar kind of
Jake
thing.
doesn't let me ever live that down. He's just like, uh, and, and there's not really any flattering way to say it. Flattering for me,
Mhm.
flattering for WWE or whatever. Like, he just kind of just put it so blunt, and I would way rather hear that again. I think we talked about this before. I'd rather be like slapped with the truth than kissed with a lie.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he's like, you're super clever, you're super talented. He goes, you're possibly the most creative guy I've ever met. Like, you are one of the only humans ever that keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
Like, Jake's one of those guys that just knows everything. So
Yeah.
it's like, if I gotta take a second to see what you're up to, he goes, man, the office had no idea what to do with you.
Right.
And they like to create people.
Yeah.
And you were so far along and so advanced that they didn't know what to do with you. And you were already like made in 10 different ways where, like, they couldn't take credit for everything you did. So that was kind of screwed you up. And then at the same time, you asshole went along with whatever dumb thing they wanted you to do because you were being a good little soldier,
Mhm.
and that bit you in the ass. So if you had done you and it had failed, I would say, good on you.
Yeah.
Proud of
Yeah.
you. But you took somebody else's inferior idea and failed with that. Like, because Arnie was Vince McMahon's idea. That was not my idea. I was just a
Right.
good sculptor and said, yes, sir, thank you for the opportunity. I will take what I'm given and do the best I can. And like Jericho would say, like, having years of building up equity and building up trust where, like, do you have the street cred to pipe up yet? Like, I was the new guy. So I just felt between
Right.
Ron Hudson's theory of be a good soldier and like, I'm the new guy. So I don't have any, I'm not battle tested there for me to pipe up, like I have some experience, but not to the point where I should be able to say, look, Vince, thank you, but I think we should do it like this.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
I don't have that stature yet.
Right. Right.
And so to this day, Jake will just every time he hears that Kazarni name, he's just like, you failed at somebody else's idea. He goes, if it was you, how you are now, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
They didn't let you, and you were too dumb enough to not fight for that, or not to whatever. So,
But again, yeah, like I said, but like you were saying there, and I concur with that because like when I was starting out, and stuff, a little bit over a year ago, I was more timid. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to rock any boats, even though I knew in my head what I saw eventually came to pass because I'd already envisioned it. I already knew it. But now it's a different ball game. Now it's like, okay, well, I've been around for a little bit now. And if I feel this is off, I'm going to say something here, and I'm not going to go along with it because I don't believe in it, and I already know, But yeah, that comes with time. But do you think Carrion? So with Carrion, he seems similar to you. He seems to have everything together. He knows how to market himself. He's got the book that just came out. So like you said, so he was always like this, even when he
always
first
like
started.
this.
Okay.
Always clever, always thinking ahead, always thinking strategically, always not minding to take a risk, but to protect his brand or his stock or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
And he's passionate and he's got what I would call a good dose of crazy.
Yeah.
Like he's got a healthy amount of like balls and crazy.
Yeah.
To take chances and to stick his neck out.
Yeah.
He's not a timid guy. I mean, dude's like 6'3", 6'4", built like a brick shit house. Like,
right.
It's not like he's physically scared of anybody. Like he's not gonna, well, whatever you say, Mr. Writer, sir, Mr. Promoter, sir, whatever. Like he's a big fucking gladiator,
Yeah.
So, and he's clever. He's well read. He's well educated. He's well traveled. He knows what he wants.
Yeah.
And I think him and his wife are a wonderful couple because like she's got initiative too. And she's a smart lady. She's not some dumb bimbo. She is clever.
Right.
They're together for a reason.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Each other is very, very Bonnie and Clyde, which I think is awesome and cool and romantic and enviable.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think so. And I think, I was telling someone the other day, I think if you put Karrion Kross back in the 1996, 1997 era of WWF, my gosh, he would have been like Steve Austin. He would have been.
I remember at FCW, Dusty would say that. He would look at me and he goes, Bodhi, if I had a time machine, I'd make $1 million bajillion with you, baby. And I said, well, I don't have a time machine, Dusty, so I guess I'm fucked. He's like, you and me both, baby.
Well, one can only hope that the time will eventually come when we'll see some of that sort of come back in to modern wrestling.
So for me, like love or hate Kazarni, I've had people like, oh, I hate that thing. And I wasn't a fan of it either, to be honest. I was completely appreciative for the opportunity, but I was not a fan creatively of what that was. Respectfully. Like I'm going to do it like a good soldier, but I mean, whether you loved it or hated it, I had a couple of matches on TV. I did a bunch of like tons of house shows, live events, whatever you want to call it, did a handful of vignettes that like we filmed all that in one day at a carnival, at my buddy's carnival. And so like, I wasn't even there backstage when those things were airing. I was at FCW. So like my time there was very short, and yet people remember it enough to love it or hate it. Whether you love it or hate it, you remember it. There's guys there 10 times longer than me that you don't even remember were there.
Right. That's
Same
true.
thing, like Cross just pointed out, I'm saying this to parallel with Cross. Is like, Cross was like, last year I wrestled like once on Raw, and yet I'm getting all these chances. So his and he lost in that match, or he went under. He did the favor, as we would say, like nobody wins, you get put over.
Right.
So, and he pointed that out. He's like, I didn't even win that match, and yet people are clamoring, to see me back, and they're buying my T-shirts and this and that. So, what does that tell something?
Yeah.
The audience, to the office. So I'm I would gamble that Triple H knows what he's got in Karrion Kross, and I would gamble that Karrion Kross will get his due.
Yeah.
You know, whatever this is, whether it's a work or a shoot turned into a work or a up and down, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll work out just fine for Cross because he's awesome and his wife is awesome and they make a power couple. You know, like it's not just one of them's cool by themselves, the other's cool by themselves. That's an awesome power couple.
That's a
Those
team.
really don't come along too often. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And
I don't know that there's a lot of guys and girls in the locker room that have the initiative that they do.
That's another thing. You can see it in Carrion's eyes. You can see the wheels turning when he's talking, and I don't see that. And again, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm just being blunt, very, very truthful.
I don't mean to offend anybody either, but I love this business enough to tell the truth of what I think. Give them, like, if you're asking me an honest opinion, I'm not going to code it and put floaties on it and fluff it all up. I'll say what I think because I love it.
Yeah.
You know, and if that offends somebody, well, there you have it.
There you go.
I don't see anybody in the locker room that, you know, not anybody. I see some, but I've been in so many locker rooms and I've been backstage enough to know, and I've been around enough to know, like, not a lot of people that have the initiative that he has.
Yeah. No, you got to be thinking about it. You know, it's one thing Rico tells me all the time. You know, once wrestling gets in you, if you're really meant to be there, you're thinking about it 24/7, about how your story, how your character works into the grand scheme of things and how you can improve, how you connect with the audience. And again, I'm around some people, and not all of them, but I do see some of them, and they just appear vacant, and they're just staring off into space. They're thinking about what move looks great, and that ain't going to cut it.
Do my abs look good, all oiled up? Have I carved? Have I depleted my carbs? So I am just you know, like whatever. Like I'm like, when I see, and I'm not saying anything about fast moving flippity flop wrestling. I like all versions of wrestling, and I like all of it in its place, and I like all of it, you know, bits and pieces of all of it. But at the same time, like every time I see a dude that is just so ripped. But like not like, you know, jack rip, but just like cross trainee rip, like look like you should be running on a track and handing off a baton as opposed to like fighting somebody.
Yes. Yeah.
Like just not my cup of tea. Like, or I see a guy that all they can do is flips, but their punches look like they wouldn't crack an egg or whatever. Like, I just think in my head, like, you could do all those flips. I would just punch you out of the sky, you know, like
exactly.
You know, like just do those flips or whatever it is. Do those 20 abs or do those flips. Plus whatever else you have, convince the audience that you could get it done in a fight.
Yeah.
Like if you can do awesome flips, but looks like you could get down in a fight, awesome. If you have 20 abs and it looks like you can get down in a fight, awesome. But if you have that stuff, but you look frail or you look too cross-trainy where you're just too meek, you know, like Ferraris look great. You know what's going to happen with Ferrari if you take it off-roading for more than 2 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's why to me a wrestler should be more like a Jeep. They look all right with dings and bings and scars and dents, you know, because they're used to off-roading and they're heavy terrain. Yeah. So, like, I want to see somebody that looks like a superhero for sure, but I want some beef on them.
Yeah.
And plus, it'll keep them safer in the ring, like nature's padding, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, it's convincing. It's why does this crowd give a crap about this guy? Why, you know, again, there has to be this connection. And I think that so many times now, again, I've seen so many matches now, worked and listened and been around, and there's this disconnect, Sin. They're not focused on that.
There's a narcissistic buffer zone where they just don't see the forest through the trees. And like to kind of put a pin in the whole, like, you know, younger, sleeker, or flippity style, like for people who go, oh, he's just older, he can't do it, so that's why he doesn't. Like, not at all. And when I was younger, I was the guy flipping around on guys much bigger. Like, I just got the size difference. Like, I was a 250-pound prehistoric version of some of those high-flying guys because I was getting caught by 300-400-pound dudes.
Right.
You know, whatever. But like, I like that stuff very much, but I like it when it's done right. Like, one of my favorite wrestlers is Rey Mysterio.
Oh yeah,
you know, pound for pound, looks like he's not all emaciated, track starred out. No. Pound for pound, always looks great, but he's got like a good kind of thickness to him or whatever. And two, as far as and ironically, like, and his son, like, I think Dominic at his early stage of the game, we haven't seen the beginning of him. He's just starting.
Yeah,
you know,
but he's also
psychology is better than 9 or 10 wrestlers. Like, he's one of the guys that gets it mentally, psychologically better than most these days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So hopefully that proves that I'm not a crotchety old timer, because I think Dom is like a scrawny little dude, but he's young. He's
Yeah.
just still filling out, you know.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, exactly.
but neck up, he is so far advanced to me than most of those guys and girls.
Psychology, like you said, you hit it on the nail right there. Psychology, and
What
guys like
to
him,
watch the Triple H in swimming trunks.
that and yes, we can't get away from those trips. What's amazing, Sin, is they've hardly bleached over the years. The color's not bad after all these years. They're still, got their color there. They haven't bleached or faded too much.
I think he's rich enough that he could buy the best laundry detergent.
Yes.
Yeah. Or maybe he bought a whole pallet full of the same pair of shorts. Maybe he just likes those shorts. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder.
Whatever floats his boat.
Yeah, but like you said, man, again, going back again, the stalker situation, not stalker, but spying on somebody when they're on vacation, and some of the pictures he took there with Steph and Trips, just again, have some respect, have some dignity, for people when they're in private time. That was I thought also that was kind of disheartening. That, like you said, someone's trying to go and have a vacation, someone's sneaking in the bushes, very creepy. And again, anybody body shaming Triple H, the man is almost 60 years old.
Yeah, he's what, 54 or 56? I think he's 56, I think.
He's got to be 56 or something, yeah.
Which is the new 45, to be
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
And again, he looks great. Like, what are people squawking about? They took a photo when he wasn't ready for anything. He was bending down, so of course his tummy is going to be like a little over his shorts, because that's not what happens when humans bend down.
Yes.
When they're trying to suck it in to show off for a camera. He just private.
Yeah.
Obviously he's unaware that there's a camera there.
Yeah.
So they're taking photos of him at his absolute worst, and at his worst, he still looks great.
Plus, Sin.
People should be ashamed of themselves,
Plus, Sin is the reality is he doesn't need to carry around 260 pounds anymore. He doesn't need it. He's in the office.
But he's still, I would still, like, if I was a burglar and I broke into Triple H's house, I wouldn't want to get thrown to the mat by 56-year-old Triple H with a pacemaker. He still would probably kick the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Like at 56, he's still an alpha dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
But people, exactly. I can't believe that Triple H let himself go. No, the fuck he didn't. He's 56. He's had a full wrestling career, which has made himself. As you know, we are all crash test dummies.
Yeah.
He's taken so many bumps, put so much damage to his body.
Mm-hmm.
He's in amazing shape for what he is.
Yeah. I got nothing.
And Cross, like, how dare he have initiative? How dare he have a head on his shoulders? How dare he be entertaining? How dare he look the part?
Yeah.
I'm sure the office is fully aware of all of those things.
Yeah. I think a lot of, like I said, I think to sum it up, we got nothing but respect for Triple H, nothing but respect for Karrion Kross, Chris Jericho, another one we mentioned here. Three.
And Jericho too. Yeah, he's a walking legacy.
Yeah.
Like Jericho is like, he's 51, 52, 53, whatever, 54, whatever he is, like early 50s. He can still move. His psychology is amazing. His drive is amazing. Like, he runs a business. He's in a rock band. He's helps run a freaking wrestling company. He's done all sorts of. He's a father. He's a husband. He's got so many things. Like, juggle a tenth of what he's doing and see, see where you're at. Like, these people should kind of look within before they, like, what a lot of these fans that are squawking that they think they know everything. I call them like know-it-all, know-nothings. Like they know how to go to the weed store. They know how to go to the video game store, and they know how to buy expensive sneakers or fancy apps on their phones. Yeah. Have they contributed to entertaining a generation or generation or two? Have they got smiles on faces? Have they gone to just again, like, we'll love Hulk Hogan and all this, like, love him or hate him? Like, have you, little Mark that's watching this podcast, have you gone into the sick children's hospital, into the cancer ward, and have you sat with these little kids? No. Like, I'm certainly no John Cena, and I'm certainly no Hulk Hogan, but I have done that. Mm-hmm. And holy shit, it is the most difficult thing. Yeah. Like, seeing Jimmy Hart, who is a good dude and a friend of mine, talking about, like, I don't know what all this stuff about Hogan, whatever. Like, it wasn't like him to make that kind of a mistake, or whatever. But I've been with him when he would go to the children's hospitals. Then when he'd, get behind closed doors away from the kids, and he'd cry like a baby, seeing what happened to these kids and all this stuff. Like, to walk into that children's ward, let me tell you, all you awesome fans listening, and all you dumb fuck troll marks that are listening, you just try walking in for 10 minutes and never again into a children's ward. Yeah. And see if you can walk out of there without wanting to jump off a fucking cliff and
Right.
walk out of there with the capability and the prowess of putting smiles on those kids' faces while
Mhm.
poker facing yourself instead of just crying, in front of them and seeing like selling in front of those kids. Like, could you tell them a joke? Could you be anything amusing to them? Could you be anything aspiring to them? Like I saw this one of those reels. You're always seeing all these reels. Like I'm
Yeah.
scrolling. I call it poop sting as I'm scrolling while I'm dropping the kids off at the pool. And I
Yeah.
saw this wonderful thing. I damn near, got a frog in my throat. It was like I was cutting onions on the can. And it was
Yeah.
like one of those things where like different guys dressed up as like superheroes or whatever are going into the sick kids wards, and like there's like a Batman comes walking in and this kid comes running over and hugs him, or this guy dressed up as Captain America or Wonder
Mhm.
Woman and stuff. And these kids are running over. I'm like, smiles on faces,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like those guys do that shit.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
Jericho has done that, Cena, Hogan. For everybody that's heels on Hogan, like how many Make-A-Wish things have you done, motherfucker?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like give me a break. And Cross is like that. Cross will take the time to sign autographs. Every last kid, he won't say I'm tired or I'm hungry.
Right.
He'll sign until there ain't nobody left to sign.
Yeah. And
How many stars can say that? I can
that's
tell you
what
right now, a lot of them don't do that.
being a role model. This is a big thing. I talk about it so often, Sin. I think anybody who's trying to get into the public realm should have that going in. Hey, I'm going to become a role model because essentially you are. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter if you're heel or face, you're going to become a role model. Understand that responsibility before you come in. If you can't take on that responsibility, go and do something else because we don't need more assholes in the public figure. That's it.
for sure,
That's all I got to say.
for sure,
So,
for sure.
but
I agree.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
it all boils down to Triple H's swimming trunks.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah. Big shoes to fill, big swimming trunks to fill. So shut your yaps and just be happy that dude is there to try to keep this industry flourishing.
exactly, because he is, quite frankly, he's one of the only few that's keeping it going. There are a handful of others. Of course, I want to give my hats off to Billy Corgan in the NWA, Aaron
Sure.
Stevens. I mean, these guys, I mean, they're putting forth a great effort. NWA is turning out some real true old school pro wrestling programming. I'm enjoying that as well.
Aaron Stevens,
So
I've known him for forever. Great dude, creative dude, smart dude.
yeah,
I remember when I first got to OVW, and I was the new guy, and he was already kind of at the top of the show when I got there.
yeah.
And great psychology,
Oh yeah.
great work ethic, and funny. Like we just cut up, and we just got along so great.
Yeah.
We always would kind of joke like we always interweave somehow. Like our lives always do this weird. We kind of have this gravitational butterfly effect where we always bump into each other somewhere somehow
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
have these conversations, and we just laugh and we just talk about the planet and life, the universe, and
Yeah.
wrestling and everything.
Well,
He's a
he's an
clever dude.
he's an interesting guy, man. In fact, I tell you what, then Sin, next month, because I spoke to Aaron about a week ago. So next month we'll have him on. You and him and I. We'll
I
come
would
on.
love it.
We'll do a show with Aaron. So he's
Mark my words. Don't let him see this episode and watch
okay.
and all this. Watch this. Sinstradamus right here.
Okay.
As soon as he comes on with me, the first thing he'll do is he'll go dun 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 dun. You just watch. We'll explain
Okay.
that. We'll
Okay.
explain that when we're together with you on the
All
thing.
right.
So just to chum the waters for your
All right.
fans, we show
All
you
right.
something fun.
Sounds cool. So look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. So again, I want to remind everybody as well. I want to remind everybody that Sin makes custom action figures. He's a tremendous action figure designer as well. So again, if you're interested in getting some customized action figures, contact Sin. You've got his contact details under his name, so make sure you use that. And again, remember the Animal Sanctuary as well. They're accepting donations for that too. So again, get in contact with Sin. Don't be afraid. Don't be a wuss. And same for this.
I suck at finding stuff, but I'm really great at responding. I
Okay.
really pride myself on responding to people, whether it's a friend of mine, another wrestler, a fan, or whatever. If you send me a message, I'll do a pretty darn good job of getting back. And I will tell people if for some reason if I miss something, which it's absolutely possible. Like sometimes if I'm on the road and I check my messages for a day or something, they could add up and I could just miss something.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would just say, like, if you are contacting me about a figure or a booking or seminar or something, if I haven't got back to you within a week, just resend the message and be like, hey, asshole, I sent you a message last week, so bear with me. But I really am prideful of messaging everybody back, whether we, whether I can take a booking or I'm available or not available. Like my schedule fills up pretty good, but at the same time, like I'm not stone cold. I have dates open, or whatever. And certainly I love making those figures. I love the challenge of making new figures. So if you want something of yourself or you want, a gift, I make a lot of stuff as like surprise gifts for people, like a wife of an indie wrestler or a husband of an indie girl or a tag team partner or something. They make like surprise gifts for each other. Yeah. That's why I don't post a lot of those, because I don't want to like burst a surprise. I don't want to like screw up a surprise. Like once I see them post it, I'll share it or whatever. Or I'll usually share like the ones that I'll make of kind of like the old timey wrestlers that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make a Hillbilly Jim or a Captain Lou or something like that. Or
we saw
as the Osborne Captain Lou WrestleMania 3.
There you go. We saw the Dusty Rhodes. I saw you posted the Dusty Rhodes from the NWA.
The Hard Times. Dusty. Yeah.
Hard Times Dusty. So
from that, I had a lot of people go, "Oh, I really like that, but could you make my brother-in-law or could you make my so-and-so?" Like, yes, like, yeah.
Yeah. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in that, get in contact with Sinn on that. If you're interested in donating to this channel, you can do so using the super chats. I'm not going to mention it again. That's why they're there. So you can help us grow. You can help us expand and whatnot. So you keep tuning in. So obviously you like something. So make sure you smash that subscribe button and help us out a little bit. Also the t-shirt.
We both have a face for radio. That's why they're dialing in.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Me more than you. You're a good looking fella. I'm just if I was to shave my beard, like I couldn't pull off clean cut the way you pull off. If I went clean shaven like you, I would look like an ugly Middle Eastern hooker or something. Like I would.
I don't know, Sinn. I've seen those pictures of you, man. Back in the day, man, when you were at Kazarni with the hair and everything else. I don't know, man. I think you
was hiding behind a beard, but it wasn't all like disheveled and crazy. It was all like manicured and all striped and braided and all that nonsense. But so if I went clean shaven, like see some dudes and they shave and 10 seconds later they've got the 5 o'clock shadow. I've got such a baby soft face, like my face is like a baby's ass. Yeah, if I was to shave this off clean, I would look like a really ugly, whatever, Mediterranean hooker or something. Like
it takes you a long time for it to come back through. Like if you shave,
I just got like the little soft, like the baby fuzz until it grows out. Like Jake the Snake has like manly man steel wool kind of like facial hair. Like his 5 o'clock shadow, he could rub paint off the side of a car. Like it's like steel wool. Right. I would have that soft, like wimpy, like I had I don't know, like too much of like the Monsanto stuff. It made my face like too like whippy or something or whatever. So my hair is all soft and fluffy, nothing grizzly mannish about it or whatever. It just looks meaner than it is because I just let it grow like a wild weed,
Yeah. Well, it's thick. I mean, it looks like a thick. I suppose I don't know. I've never tried, but that is, it's pretty thick. I mean, your beard is pretty darn thick, though, Sinn.
Oh, what do you know?
Yeah.
Moisturize, condition. I've never. I just had a friend of mine. Well, now we're friends, but I had a company message me, ask me if I would do like a beard oil thing. Until I ever did that, I never used any of that. None of it. Yeah. And I used it and I really like it, but until he kind of pitched me on it, said, "Hey, can we put you got a great beard? Can we put your face on the beard stuff?" So we call it's called Beard's Nest. It's on my like Instagram or whatever.
All right.
Bird's Nest. It's called Bird's Nest.
Okay.
And it's got like a picture of like my clown face or whatever on there and stuff. And I like it. I use it. And my wife's like, "Oh, I like the smell of it all." I'm gonna put it on, get all beautified.
Yeah.
Look at me with my fancy beard.
Does it put like the sheen on it, the little shine, the shimmer? Do you see?
I think it helps. Like it kind of helps, like for it to not like break off or whatever. Yeah. Especially when I'm outside in the here in my little funny farm. Like it's I'm in the high desert, so it's still no humidity. Next to no humidity, slightly more than Vegas, but like still it's dry and it's hot and it's dusty out there. And I'm shoveling out like goat paddocks and cow paddocks and chicken coops and stuff. So it gets dusty and it gets dry, so it gets brittle. So it's the bird's nest is nice to me to put the nice sheen and to put the nice flexibility.
Yes. I want to see you in commercials, Sin. That's it. I mean, you got so much charisma. We need to
Oh
see you
boy.
on commercials, my
Well,
man.
when you look like this, you better have a halfway decent personality. You're just dead in the fucking water.
Oh my God. Sin,
You look good, and you have a brain on your shoulder. So you look like a supermodel, and you're an intelligent guy. So you've got like 2 for 2, winner chicken dinner. Me, I got none of it. So I gotta crack my jokes and got to use my silly voices and every tool
I
I
don't
can
know.
use.
I don't know. Sid, you got a friggin' tremendous head on your shoulders, brother. I mean, a tremendous head on your shoulders. Like I said, I just you understand business, you understand wrestling, you understand what it is to be a man. We talk about that often.
So I
So,
think everything you just said is pretty much a criminal offense these days.
probably, yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm doomed. The way you basically just said, basically, it's just I'm screwed. So thank you, thank you. Jake the
And
Snake
what?
always would go. He's just like you're. I think you're the most creative guy I've ever met. And he goes, you are ahead of your time. And I said, I think that to me that translates to I'm going to die poor. And he's like, you're fucking right, brother.
Damn, Jay.
So they'll maybe make millions of dollars on a movie about me when I'm long gone and I'm worm food and I won't reap the benefits of any of it. So
The-
some young indie guy that does all the spots in the world is gonna play me,
yeah,
and it's gonna make
yeah,
$1 million, and I'm not gonna see a dime of it because
yeah.
I'm gonna be tits up, staring at the universe from 6 feet under the dirt.
Damn, the legend of Sin Bodhi. Directed by, I don't know, Ron Howard's son.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Directed by Ron Howard Jr., played by Danny DeVito Jr., Sinn Bodhi. Yeah.
No,
So
but like I said, we thank God that you're doing all that you're doing now, man. You're so involved in it still. Probably, I would say more so. Did you say more so than when you were competing on TV? Because you seem so ingrained now in so many aspects.
I think, I mean, like again, I won't compare myself to Jericho because he is just like he's kind of like the new Elvis of wrestling. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
he's generational. He's done everything you could possibly do at multiple
Mhm.
companies, and I mean, he's lived multiple dreams. He's a rock star and a pro wrestler. How
Right.
many of us, when we were kids, we want to be an astronaut, we want to be a deep sea diver, we want to be a rocket, be an astronaut, be a wrestler, be a rock star, and he's done two of the things. Like he's caught two of the food groups, right? Like
Yep.
lucky to say I am a wrestler,
Yep.
but he's a wrestler, a rock star, a business owner, all these different things or whatever. So I think and he's been around long enough where he's accrued such wisdom and equity in himself to be like, you know, WWE's not in a rush to put a 50 plus guy in the ring, but I could see him popping in there tomorrow. He
Yeah.
could certainly hang with anybody.
Oh,
He
for
could
sure.
absolutely lead guys and build guys, no doubt.
Hmm.
They could put him at the top of the card, or they could have him build guys. Either way, he'd do great.
Yeah.
Whatever position they put him in. Like I'll leave you with this. I know we're going a little bit
Yeah.
long, but like me and Dr. Tom were kind of giggling about it at the on the fly show at CAC the other night. He said like the whole concept of on the fly was exactly that. Like the old timers would pick you, like we have all the wrestlers on the stage the whole time. Random old timers or legends or whatever you want to call them would pick like, all right, you and you in the ring. And I would give the referee, I'd say, put the guy in the blue tights over, put the guy in the red tights over.
Hmm.
A referee would just wait for a cue for me to when I want him to take it home. And we were talking about like if you can call on the fly, then you can memorize.
Yeah.
If all you know how to do is memorize, you cannot call it on the fly. Like
Right.
once you learn it, you can do it, and it's easier than you think it is. But most people are so scared to figure it out, and they don't want to. A lot of guys are so egotistical where they don't want to eat the humble pie of realizing how little they know.
Hmm.
They walk around with their lats out like I know everything, and they know nothing.
Yeah.
And I remember sort of putting it in a metaphor, and Doc giggled. He's like, "That's an awesome way to put it."
Hmm.
Like, so you as a worker that can call on the fly,
Hmm.
brain surgeon.
Yeah.
Now, if that brain surgeon is only called into the ring to put a Band-Aid on somebody or put some stitches on somebody, well, they could do that in their sleep because they're a brain surgeon.
Yeah.
But if you're brought into the ring and you're only qualified to put a Band-Aid on or stitch up a couple of stitches, but they need you to do brain surgery, then you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can do one and the other, but not the other way around.
Yeah.
So learning how to call on the fly, whether you prefer to do it, don't prefer to do it, or whatever, to me is essential.
Yeah.
And again, and if people listen, like, who's this guy to talk about? What did he know? Whatever, like, ask a Dr. Tom, ask a Ricky Morton. Like, I popped huge, maybe last year, whatever. And Ricky Morton was just like, coaches out there at all the random schools across the land. If you can't work on the fly, you can't teach how to work on the fly. you probably shouldn't be a coach.
Yeah.
And that's coming from one of the absolute greatest baby faces in the galaxy of all eternity.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
don't like it from little old Kazarni, maybe you'll hear it from Ricky Moore.
No, honestly, Sin, I agree with you 100%. If you're watching pro wrestling and everything's called, everything's rehearsed before you go out, there's no room for error. When they do screw up, they don't know where to go, and it's clearly obvious. They have a complete disconnect to the audience because they're not listening to the audience. Maybe what they're planning
Right now, I'll be 52 in another week or two, whatever the date is. Right now, you and I could get in the ring in front of any style of crowd, whether it's PG-13, whether it's sports and entertainment, whatever, whether it's a drunken 21 plus rowdy crowd, you and I could get in the ring and we could work 100% on the fly for an hour.
Right.
All the finish and everything in the ring,
Yeah.
whether you knew how to work or not. Like if you're just a wrestler, and I know you can work, you're a good wrestler. I've watched you, I think you've even probably punched me out a time or two now. I have to think about it, but whether looking the way you look, if you just know how to take a bump and you know how to just some direction, I could pull you through an hour and everybody would go, holy shit.
Well, Sin, speaking of which, I happened to catch that segment you did years ago. What was it? Or I don't know if it was years ago or more recent, but
it was probably years ago.
It was a show where it was like a magician show or something where it was like revealing behind there was a guy and it was like a celebrity, like America's Got Talent or something like that. And you were
Penn and Teller? You're talking about the Penn and Teller thing?
Penn and Teller, that was it. Yeah, it was something. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was called.
Foolish with Penn and Teller.
Yeah, and you put on a match. You were with a guy, and I was like, that was just genius. It was perfect. The way that you unfolded, it was like, gosh, I mean, that could hold up better than most of this crap I see. It was good.
So I produced the wrestling part of that match, and Shocker, my good friend, who was a Freak Show Wrestling OG, who's an actual magician, a high-end magician.
Yeah.
He produced the magic. I produced the wrestling, and we kind of got together and put together something. And Penn and Teller, like they kind of squeaked out of like how to if we're going to fool them or not, and they kind of guessed on how we did the trick.
Yeah.
It was like a mentalism trick, hiding within the wrestling match, and they had to kind of guess. And after they're off camera, they were like, out of all the fancy acts across the land ever, you guys were the closest ones, and we had to guess, and we just kind of hoped right.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever done that to us before or since. And they were super flattering, and we're really good dudes, and I'm buddies with them to this day.
Yeah, no, it was great, man. I was
really super flattered to know, like, hey, wait, did we almost fool like they're like Jake the Snake of like magic, like they're like nothing's getting by Jake, nothing's getting by Penn and Teller, like they're just as slick as you can get.
Yeah. No, I
super flattered at that.
So much respect. All right, Sin, we've come to the top of the hour and gone past it. So it's okay. It's fine. I'm teaching these people
Take it home. We're going over time.
Yeah, we're going over time here. So again, ladies and gentlemen, well, rather students, I won't give you that much credit. Students, make sure you smash the subscribe button. Make sure you hit likes. Earthlings.
Attention, all Earthlings.
Yes. Listen loud and clear and learn. This has been the Master Amir. This has been Sinn Bodhi. And we'll be back I'm sure, Sin, you'll be back in a couple of weeks. We'll have that Aaron Stevens.
I would love to get on there with the Idol.
Yeah, friggin' awesome. I love both you guys, man. So look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. But until next time, take care of yourselves. God bless. This has been Sinn Bodhi. I'm Master Amir. We'll see you on the next one.